Hello guys, thanks for all the support. Today, I'm back with a new story called The Beast Tamer. We're going to see the journey of Rain, a beast tamer who was expelled from a party of heroes for being weak. Later, he starts his own journey to become an adventurer and meets multiple humanoid girls who later become his companions. He also discovers that he is not a normal beast tamer and decide to become more powerful. So, let's get started. The story starts with Rain Shroud getting called out by his party members. Arios tells Rain he is fired from the party, shocking Rain. Rain asks for the reason, and Leanne harshly says it was done because he is useless. At this, other members start mocking him, and when he tries to defend himself, Arios tells him he shouldn't since it'll be pathetic. So Rain leaves the party, along with returning the gear. Rain starts thinking about what he should do now as he looks at the city on the horizon. While he was still thinking, some children came to him and asked whether he had completed the job or not. Then they ask him to do the usual thing, and Rain happily accepts. Rain sees an eagle flying and makes a temporary contract with it. He orders the eagle to say hello to the children, which makes the children very happy, and he decides to let the eagle go. The children tell Rain they'll become beast tamers just like him, rather than being heroes. When Rain inquires about this, they say the other party members always look annoying, but Rain is different and always plays with them. At this, he remembers the people's annoying behavior whenever he talked about the hero party. Thinking for a while, he decides to become an adventurer. At the Adventurers Guild, Rain gives his name for registration as an adventurer. He asks the guild receptionist, Natalie Bro, to tell him about the adventurer system. She gives him the essential knowledge and asks him about his class. Upon hearing Beast Tamer as his class, she becomes anxious since beast tamers are generally weak. It makes Rain remember what Leanne had told him before, but Rain says he'll be fine. He was then told to kill 10 goblins as a registration test. Using a squirrel, he tracks the goblins and starts to attack them. He kills them off and collects the magic stones. He then hears someone scream, only to find out a girl is being cornered by a killer tiger. He decides to act with his knife to attack it, but its skin is so hard that the knife breaks. As the killer tiger corners him, he witnesses the girl jumps at a very high speed and slams the tiger with her fist. Rain sees that the girl is from the cat tribe, said to be an endangered species. The girl falls, and Rain asks whether she is okay or not. She says she is hungry. After Rain gives her some food, she gives him thanks and introduces herself as Canaid. While they start talking about themselves, Rain tells her about his banishment, which makes Canaid angry with the hero. This made Rain happy as she was angry for him, and he unconsciously patted her on her head, and she happily enjoyed it. She then asks Rain to tame her. At first, Rain wonders if it is possible to do so, but feels that he wants to know Canaid better and try it, which turns out to be at the Adventurers Guild. Rain submits the items for his quest to the guild receptionist, Natalie. She informs him that he has passed his adventurer's trial and is now recognized as an F-ranked adventurer. Natalie also mentions that as Rain completes more quests, he will rank up and earn more money for his troubles. With this in mind, Rain notes that he will need lodging and, to achieve this, he will need to earn more money. Later, Rain and Canaid meet in the cafeteria to discuss taking on a new quest together. Suddenly, they are approached by a man who expresses interest in Canaid due to her being a cat spirit. The man attempts to court Canaid, but she refuses him, saying that she belongs to Rain as her tamer. The man challenges Rain to an arm wrestling contest with Canaid as the prize. Rain accepts and wins the contest, much to his surprise. Just then, Natalie arrives and takes care of the man. She formally apologizes on behalf of the guild, but her inner voice leaks out when she asks Rain how he managed to tame Canaid. This makes both Rain and Canaid shudder in fear, but Natalie quickly regains her composure and leaves. Rain wonders how he became so strong, and Canaid explains that when he made a contract with her, his strength amplified. Rain's strength is believed to be as strong as Canaid's, and he is surprised by this, as no one in his village had this experience before. Excited to take on a new job, Canaid's hopes are quickly dashed when they are assigned to another herb-gathering task. Rain reminds her that they can't take on more challenging quests due to his low rank. To make the task more efficient, Rain forms a temporary contract with some horned rabbits to help collect the required herbs. Suddenly, they hear a scream and go to investigate the situation. At the location, they find an old man and his mule surrounded by a group of bandits known as the Ebenfangs. Canaid informs Rain of the Ebenfangs' infamous reputation as a brigade of bandits, with 100 members in their ranks. Without hesitation, Rain decides to help the old man, and the two of them ambush the bandits. As Rain fights the bandits, Canaid checks on the old man, but she is worried that Rain may not be able to handle his newfound strength. However, as Canaid watches Rain fighting, her heart starts to race, and her face becomes red. The old man speaks out to thank the two for their help. He explains that a group of adventurers had protected him earlier, but they fled when the bandits arrived, and he expresses concern over the reprisals of the Ebenfangs. Rain then decides to deal with the rest of the Ebenfangs, much to Canaid's dismay. They reach their destination, and Rain temporarily contracts some animals around the surrounding area to scout out the Ebenfangs. He also assures Canaid that he has a plan to deal with them. Soon, they reach the Ebonyfang's hideout, and Canaid asks him what the plan is from there on out. In his explanation, Rain details the plan hinges on another temporary contract with an Arby, whose skill can paralyze a person for over 12 hours. Astonished that Rain could tame an insect despite being a beast tamer, he tells Canaid that back in his home village, he learned the basics of the tamer subclass insect taming for a while. As astonished as Canaid was, she's ordered to return to the town and get some reinforcements, while he has the Arbies handle the Ebony Fang member. The reinforcements that Rain wanted were called the Order of Knights, a group tasked by the government to uphold peace in the lands. Understanding her task, Canaid leaves, and a swarm of Arbies arrives, and Rain forms a temporary contract with them all. Elsewhere, the adventurers who were tasked with protecting the old man earlier before are revealed to have been Ryan's old comrades, Mina and Leanne. The two curse their situation and redirect their frustrations to the beast tamer they were partnered with, opining their disdain for his inadequacy as a beast tamer. However, in his defense, the beast tamer claims that the demands of the two were far too complex for him to accomplish. He also claims that a beast tamer that can tame over 20 animals is impossible, which Leanne considers to be a lie, and holds the beast tamer responsible for their failure. Accepting the responsibility after being coerced and threatened by Leanne, she internally refuses to believe that Rain is any higher than the garbage she thought him to be. Returning to Ryan's side, his Arbies deal with the remaining Ebony Fangs members, and Canaid arrives with reinforcements. As the reinforcements handle the paralyzed bandits, Rain notices that only adventurers are there, and not a single member of the Knights of Order. One of the reinforcements reveals that the Knights of Order had no time to deal with a bunch of cutpurses. At that moment, a trio of Berserk King Lizards break through their wooden cage and attack them. Through the combined efforts of Rain and Canaid, they manage to take down the monsters, allowing the adventurers to carry the Ebony Fang members out of the area. Eventually, Rain and Canaid exit the Ebony Fang's base with Canaid holding onto the King Lizard's magical stones, and they're then praised for their accomplishment by their fellow adventurers. The praise sits well with Rain, who recalls being kicked out of Ario's party for being useless, and is thankful for Canaid's. Later, although Canaid was elated that they have actual beds to sleep on, Rain was flabbergasted that they have to share a room together, thanks to the innkeeper. Ryan's narration explains how after they turned in the bounty on the Ebony Fangs, they were recalled to the Adventurers Guild. There, Natalie informs Rain he's been promoted from F rank to E rank, and they were given a reward for their efforts. They then purchased some equipments and celebrated their victory. Finally, they ended up in their current predicament. Despite his apprehension, Rain agrees to share the room with Canaid for the night, and as Rain sleeps, she contemplates how fortunate she is to have been found by Rain. A week passes since Rain first met with Keed, and Rain is very happy with his current lifestyle. From the Adventurers Guild, they learn from Natalie that a hooligan has taken refuge at Stride Bridge, and picks fights with anyone who tries to cross the bridge. Enticed by the rewards, Rain accepts the quest and immediately heads to the bridge with Canaid. Shortly after they arrive, a red dragon flies overhead, lands close to the two, transforms into a female humanoid, and proclaims its desire to fight them. Surprised that the red dragon is really a woman, Rain asks if she's the noted guard dog of the bridge, which she confirms and introduces herself as Tania, a dragonoid. Apparently, Tania was using the bridge as a training ground for training, and Keed explains that it's like a ceremony in dragonoids. Tania then openly challenges the two to a match, and both Rain and Canaid agree to the challenge. The battle starts with Tania throwing a punch at Rain, who barely defends against it. Impressed by this feat, Tania then breathes fire at the two, setting Canaid's tail on fire. Because of this, Canaid fights against Tania, and Rain watches in amazement at how Canaid can fight against Tania on equal footing. To help Canaid, Rain tries to attack Tania, but she catches Rain as he soars in the air, grabs Canaid, and throws them into the air, while preparing to breathe fire at them again. However, they manage to dodge the attack by working together, earning Tanya praise. Noting the difficulty of facing off against Tanya and how he needs to fight like a beast tamer, Rain asks Kanade to buy him 3 minutes to prepare. Without hesitation, Kanade agrees to help and faces off against Tanya as Rain forms a temporary contract on a bird and asks it to call for reinforcements. After this, Rain takes cover, and with the birds he contracted, they attack Tanya, who becomes immobilized after they attack her. Rain then reveals that the birds are called pedo, and their plumage is poisonous. Tanya surrenders, incapable of fighting further, and Rain asks her to come with them. Questioning what would happen if she refused, Rain answers that he doesn't know, but comments on what a fix he'd be in if Tanya doesn't comply. Amused by the response, Kanade pokes Tanya into submission, making her agree to the demand. Afterward, Rain and Kanade report back to Natalie at the Adventurers Guild, and before Tanya can introduce herself, Rain stops her and abruptly leave the guild in a hurry. Outside, Tanya draws attention to herself, and both Rain and Keed stop her from revealing she's a dragonoid. On the outskirts of town, Tanya is disciplined by Rain, who allows her to leave, but admonishes her from starting any trouble again after this. However, Tanya, who had taken a liking to Rain, suggests that he tame her as well, to which he begrudgingly agrees and forms a contract with her. That night in town, Arios complains about his team's wasted efforts in the Lost Woods they spent trying to fight against monsters. With Leanne and the others complaining that Ryan's old tasks were a burden on the group, Arios decides to recruit Rain back into the group, only to dump him again after they complete it. Meanwhile, as Rain sleeps on the floor, Kanade and Tanya argue about which bed the other sleeps on, as one of the beds has a view of Rain. In a narration, Rain explains regarding slimes and his team was tasked with subjugating the monsters, which unsettles Kanade due to their stickiness whenever they're defeated. Tanya then boasts that she'll be able to defeat them all for her, which earns her Kanade's praise. Standing by watching the scene unfold, Rain notes how happy he was about how the two were getting along. Time passes by, and the group cannot locate a swarm of slimes. Hence, Rain uses one of his taming abilities on a bird called Assimilate, to merge his soul and control the bird to search for slimes within the area. The feat astonishes both Tanya and Keed, and after their outburst, Rain flies off to search for slimes, as the two watch over his body. Eventually, Rain locates the swarm of slimes, and before they begin the job, Tanya asks Rain if he can use any magical spells. Rain answers that he can use Fireball and Heal, which under Tanya's suggestion, casts Fireball against the slimes, eliminating every last one of them. The outcome astounds Rain and Keed, but not Tanya, who explains that Ryan's abilities have risen since making a contract with her. Just then, more slimes appear at the scene, and, following Tanya's tuition, Rain learns how to control his magic better. Afterward, Tanya and Keed talk to a little girl outside the Adventurers Guild, informing her that they successfully completed a slime subjugation quest. Rain then joins the two girls, and after a stroll through the town throughout the day, that night, the group enjoys dinner at a restaurant. Once they're finished, Rain reveals the background of his home village and how it was lost one day due to a monster attack. A group of adventurers would rescue Rain, and he was relocated to an inn where he worked his keep for years, until Arios' group recruited him. He joined the group without hesitation, believing it'd be for the better, and would allow him to prevent the same tragedy that happened to his village. However, the group thought of him as a useless tag-along, leading to his dismissal from the heroes' party. Hearing this story saddens both Tanya and Kanade, but they note their fury against the hero party for how they treated Rain, but he assures them that it's all behind him. The day after, Ryan's group subjugates a bunch of orcs, one of which manages to stab Rain in his arm with a knife while trying to protect Tanya, assuring that he's fine. Rain then uses Heal on himself that instantly heals the wound, and suggests they collect the magical ores the orc left behind and turn them into the Adventurers Guild. That afternoon, Rain does this and learns from Kanade that Tanya had wanted some time alone to herself. Tanya stood on a bridge gazing at the flowing river water below, pondering whether or not she's done the right thing, and then a little girl from the other day approached and talked to her. Tanya would have a brief heart-to-heart with the little girl that lifted her spirits. Soon, Rain finds Tanya, who formally apologizes to him for her actions earlier that day. On the other hand, Rain notes his relief for being able to find Tanya, and that night Kanade realizes her feelings for Rain, but would flatly deny them as a fondness for him. The following day, After another successful quest was completed, Tania suggests to Rain that they purchase new equipment, and Rain liked the idea. Before they're able to progress any further, Arios and his party confront Rhines on the road and give him a sarcastic greeting. Just like that, the episode come to an end. Now we know that Rain is not a normal beast tamer. He can do things that are impossible for normal beast tamers, like taming multiple animals at a time. His past is also a mystery. Now he is going to face Arios, but he is much more stronger now. So it is going to be an interesting clash. So don't forget to subscribe my channel to watch the next episode. Like and share this video. I will see you in the next one.